So yeah, I'm Mexico. I'm just gonna talk about one single sermon or like worship thing, because there's a bunch of times where it's like crazy, but yeah. So for this sermon, it was Pastor Han, and this pastor was like crazy. He was like crazy for God, but also just crazy in general. Cause like he went to Yale, like our fellow pastor here, and he wanted to be. His main thing inhibiting from following God was like his ambition, right? And that kind of spoke out to me because a lot of us here want to be ambitious. And this Pastor Han guy, he wanted to be the first Korean American Supreme Court justice. So I was like, bro, that's crazy. And he was like, yeah, but like God saved me, and I gave that up completely. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So he's like, God has a purpose for all of you. I'm like, okay, but like I'm just Chris. Like, what can I do? You know, like. And then he goes on about like his own testimony, and like in college he did drugs, he did all these terrible things. I'm like, bro, I never did that, so like I must be better than him, right? But he's like, no, because like everyone's just as broken as everyone else. Everyone, no matter how small your sin is, that's enough to get you into hell. And I'm like, wow, like yeah. So that hit me pretty hard. And then later he goes on to like, yeah, so God, even though I went to Yale and like he was in school with some of the best lawyers, some of the best like law people in the world, right? He was sitting in the classroom with them. Like his dream, it was literally attainable. Like with hard work, because that guy was ambitious, bro. Like he did all the right things. He had like super stacked SAT, super stacked resume. Like he could make it, right? And he just threw that all away for God. And there's like another guy, he was about to become like a pro Valorant gamer, bro. Like he gave that up for God. I'm like, bro, that's crazy. Like if I was in their shoes, I would be like, is that really God? Because I kind of like this. But anyway, I'm tangenting. But yeah, so his testimony and his preaching really got me. And especially like his passage, it was like God chose the weak to shame the strong. God chose the poor to save the rich. The poor to shame the rich. And he chose the people who are despised, shame the people that are like lifted up. I'm like, okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm like one of the weak people, because like I just like now that I look at myself, like I'm very broken, I'm very like super pathetic, you know. But I hadn't realized that. I thought I was a good kid, thought I got good grades, but in reality, like just as broken, like probably even more broken than angry, and like. Yeah, but the big moment is where Pastor Han, like he was like on fire, right? He was going crazy. He was like pointing to the crowd, like your purpose is to do something. Your purpose is to like go do something with your something, uncle, something. And then he points to me and he goes, your purpose is to go heal your broken dad. I'm like, bro, what? Because I was just listening, right? And I thought he was just pointing at random people. But he was pointing to specific people, and whatever he said was relevant to their lives, right? So he pointed at me, and at that time, my dad's not here. He's praying at like the adult service, but like his hip was cooked. Like his hip was totally dead. So he didn't come to youth group for like 2-3 weeks. Like that's probably why. And at home he was like getting really mad at my mom and stuff. I'm like, bro, is this really bad? Like I know like obviously people go through mood swings, but he was in a bad mood for like a straight month. I was like, is this really dad? So and then at the retreat they talked about like demons and stuff. I'm like, okay, something's definitely like attacking my dad, right? And then when Pastor Han pointed at me like, your job is to heal your dad, I'm like, how can I do that? And first of all, how do you know my dad is like injured? And like it was like crazy, right? It's like, and then as soon as he pointed at me and said that, it was like a gunshot like pierced my heart. I was like, oh my gosh, like God knows me and he knows what I'm going through. He knows what I'm going through, and I like fell on my knees and went thud, and then just started praying like as hard as I could. I'm like, God, why'd you choose me? Like I'm so pathetic, and then yeah, that was like the hardest I've ever prayed. I was actually like weeping. It was like not embarrassing, but I was like weeping. I was like crying. I was like laughing because I was so happy that he chose me and he knew me, and like yeah. After that, I shared that to my mom, and she's like, oh wait, like what day was this? I'm like, either Friday night or Saturday night. Yo, your dad came back from his business trip and he was healed and he started asking for forgiveness to my mom. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Like I didn't think, like, I thought I would go home and I would need to pray for him, like, really awkwardly, like, put my hand on his hip. I'm like, oh, Jesus, can you, like, please heal my dad, please? And then, but he was already healed, thank the Lord. So,
Amen.
and yeah, I'm like, okay, like, God is actually real, and Jesus is real, and he's doing stuff. And, like, yeah, he's, like, actually real, guys. Like, he's actually real. Like, he's literally right here, he's right next to you, and, like, he's in this room right now. And it's just crazy to think about, like, how, like, the supreme being of the earth cares about every single one of you so deeply, and he loves you more than anything else. He loves you more than your parents. He loves you more than your siblings. He loves you more than a very close friend or your boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. Like, just hit me so hard, you know? And if you guys ever experienced the joy or you experience it again, you'll just be reminded, or you'll know how much God, like, loves you. It's so darn cliche, bro. You're like, Jesus loves you, but, like, the depth of that statement is actually insane. Like, Jesus loves you so much that he gave up the most valuable thing he could offer, you know? Like, obviously, like, think about Pastor Han. He gave up his dreams of becoming a Supreme Court justice, right? Like, literally a historical figure in American history. He gave that up for Jesus, and that wasn't even this close to comparing Jesus' sacrifice of giving up his life. So that just hit me really hard, and just like put a hole through my chest. And yeah, that's pretty. Like Pastor Paul, he did these big, like, prayer gathering meetings, and he was like, okay, anyone who wants to give the tongues, come receive. And then people prayed for me. I didn't get it, and a couple other kids didn't get it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. But Pastor Paul, like, low-key, like, gaslit a lot of us. He's like, oh, if he didn't give you the gift of tongues, he'll give you other gifts. And Alex was like, nah, that's wrong, bro. Using my Yale knowledge, bro, that's not right. According to the Bible, I'm like, all right, I'll believe you. Yeah. But yeah, then on the bus ride back, so he went over the Bible, and he's like, yo, anyone who is saved can get the gift of tongues. So I'm like, all right, bet. And then so he prayed for me, and then I got it. I was like, okay. Yeah, it didn't come with, like, any, like, I thought I would, like, start tweaking, or, like, you know, those, like, the stereotypical, like, Korean mom who's, like, bawling your eyes out. Like, I did that before, and I thought it would happen again, but it didn't. So it just, like, came upon me, and that was pretty cool. So I had to get the tongues down. I got super ultra saved, like, through the thing, and I got blessed. And being blessed just means you experience God, or you see God's love again. You just encounter God, and you meet him, and you just get reminded he's so real, and he loves you so much. So